speak a little more about him. He's taking the fight over his disqualification to poll-bound Karnataka now. In fact, he is returning to where it all started, Kolar. It was, as you know, at an election rally in Kolar in 2019 that Rahul Gandhi made his comment on the Modi surname. That comment got him disqualified from parliament, but Rahul isn't planning on backing down. He's been asked for an apology. He refuses to apologize. In fact, he's doubling down. Rahul Gandhi will be traveling to Kolar on April 5th to begin another yatra. The Congress is calling this the Satyameva Jayate Yatra. He's taking the battle to ground zero, where the defamation saga all started in 2019. And conveniently for him, it's also a state that is now going to elections. And as I said, a day to make that announcement. Earlier today, the Election Commission announced dates for the Karnataka elections. Voting will be taking place on May 10th, which means it's a single-phase election. And results will be declared on May 13th. Now, this promises to be an exciting and close contest between the BJP and Congress. We got a sneak peek into what the campaign could possibly look like. The Congress is already talking about EVM tampering and poll rigging. The BJP, meanwhile, is talking about a secret deal between the JDS and the Congress. We will discuss all those claims and counterclaims in detail, but first a quick look at this report on the faces, the issues and numbers that will determine Karnataka's fate.
It's election time in Karnataka. The BJP is looking to retain its only stronghold in the south, while the Congress will be hoping to storm back to power. Waiting in the shadows is H.D. Kumaraswamy's JDS. If neither party gets an outright majority, then he could play kingmaker. But first, the numbers that matter. Karnataka will be voting in a single phase on the 10th of May. The results will be declared on the 13th. The battle is for 224 seats in the Karnataka Assembly, where the majority mark is 113. There are more than 5 crore registered voters in the state. Out of them, around 9 lakh are first-time voters. The polling will be done across more than 58,000 stations to be set up by the Election Commission. By all accounts, it promises to be a cracker. A tough fight between the Congress and the BJP. Which brings us to the big issues that will play on the voters' minds.
Bolo Bharat Mata Ki! Bharat Mata Ki!
Corruption is one of them. The BJP government has stumbled from one corruption case to another. Contractors say 40% commission has become the norm. The recent raid and arrest of BJP MLA Virupakshappa will also be fresh in public memory. Another issue is the caste and quota agitations. Lingayats and Vokaligas have been asking for more reservation from the government. Chief Minister Bommai did increase the quota, but he did so at the cost of a 4% quota for Muslims. The Congress has promised to reverse that decision. Issue number 3 is urban infrastructure, especially in the capital, Bengaluru. The city's civic apathy has become notorious with pothole deaths and accidents almost every week. The Congress says it's a side effect of the BJP's corruption and misgovernance. Issue number 4 is the polarization campaign. The BJP has been drumming up the rhetoric on issues like Tipu Sultan and hijab. They also dabbled with the idea of banning halal meat. Much like in Gujarat last year, the party is banking on Prime Minister Modi to bring in the votes. The PM has already visited Karnataka 7 times this year. But the question is, will a central phase help the BJP in a state where local support and caste loyalties are predominant? Only time will tell. For the Congress, it's a problem of plenty. They have announced candidates for 124 seats, which is more than half the field. But infighting remains a challenge. While Siddaramaiah appears to be the chief ministerial face, State Party Chief D.K. Shivakumar is a force to reckon with. He's a Vokalika leader and harbours chief ministerial ambitions. Another face to watch out for is B.S. Yediyurappa. He isn't contesting, but his Lingayat support base will be key to the BJP's plan. It's a chance for him to stamp his authority as a vote puller. For Chief Minister Bommai, it's a chance to step out of the shadows and take charge, to prove that Yediyurappa's retirement and his elevation was justified. There are battles within battles looming in Karnataka. The results on 13th of May will set the stage for next year's general elections. A Congress victory would oust the BJP from southern India. It would also be a decisive mandate against a polarization campaign that was years in the making. And don't forget, Karnataka is an economic powerhouse. It makes up 8% of India's GDP and has cultivated key industries like IT, aerospace and defense.
Now, there's no shortage of snide remarks and wild allegations. After all, this is election season. D.K. Shivakumar was the first of the mark. He thanked the Election Commission for sending new EVMs to Karnataka. He says he had written to the EC asking them to not use the EVMs used in Gujarat. Now, this is an indirect jibe at the poll body's independence. He also said Congress workers are ready for the trial run, which will be organized by the ED. That's the Enforcement Directorate. Listen in.
ಒಂದವರಿಗೆ ಲೆಟರ್ ಬರೆದಿದ್ದು ಗುಜರಾತ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಂತ ಮಿಷಿನ್ ಇರಬಹುದು, ಬೇರೆ ಮಿಷಿನ್ ಯಾವುದು ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ತರಬಾರದು ಅಂತ. ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಬೂತ್ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚಿತವಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಏಜೆಂಟ್ಗಳಿಗೆ, ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಪಕ್ಷದ ಏಜೆಂಟ್ಗೆ 50 ವೋಟನ್ನು ಹಾಕಿ ಟ್ರಯಲ್ ರನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ನಾವು ಚುನಾವಣೆಯನ್ನ ಮತವನ್ನ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲ ಕಾರ್ಯಕರ್ತರನ್ನ ನಾವು ಸಜ್ಜು ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತೀವಿ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಆ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ನಾವು ಅವ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕೆಲವು ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಹಳೆ ಮಿಷಿನ್ಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ, ಏಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಕಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಆದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಹೊಸದಾಗಿ ಮಿಷಿನ್ ತಂದಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರು ನಾನು ಅಭಿನಂದಿಸ್ತೀನಿ.
Chief Minister Bommai fired back with a wild allegation of his own. He says a secret deal has been struck between the JDS and Congress to oust the BJP. Now, the JDS is hoping to play kingmaker in this election, which we are being told will be closely fought. If neither party gets an outright majority, then H.D. Kumaraswamy's support will be key. In the 2018 elections, he had tied up with the Congress party to deny the BJP. He ended up serving as chief minister of the coalition government. This time, both the BJP and the Congress have ruled out alliances with the JDS, but the post-election arithmetic could force a rethink. Listen in to what the chief minister had to say.
In fact, there was a meeting in Hyderabad between Congress leaders and JDS. According to my information, a deal has been struck there.
Quick chat with my guests this evening. Always a pleasure to have all of them on the show. Madhu N Rao is spokesperson of the Karnataka BJP, joining us on the broadcast. LavanyaBallal is spokesperson of the Congress party, and Madhavan Narayanan is a senior journalist. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, for being with us here on the show. Lavanya, I'm coming to you first. Why was that below the belt remark by D.K. Shivakumar on EVMs? He spoke about EVMs that were used in Gujarat, but he didn't think of EVMs that were used in Himachal Pradesh. अरे इतना पुराना हो गया, अब तो EVM का रोना छोड़ दो.
He was just voicing the opinion of quite a lot of party workers. I mean, I'm in the constituency right now, and one of the first questions that comes up for every party Congress party worker is, how far can we trust the
Lavanya, can you hear me? I think we have a slight network issue with you. Since you're in your constituency, we know there'll probably be some, some network issues. So let's just try and fix that. Let me then get in. Okay, you're back. Please go ahead, Lavanya. Complete your point.
No, I was just saying, even the party workers have this.
Arey baap re. Let's hope the EVMs don't work like Lavanya's connection is right now on polling day. Let's quickly get in the BJP spokesperson while we try and fix Lavanya's audio and video there. Madhu, what would you say to the comment? I mean, this is the comment that came right after the poll dates were announced. I don't know whether it was said in jest or whether there was a certain degree of seriousness to it. But what Lavanya tells me is that it is the concern on the ground when it comes to Congress workers.
So yeah, first of all, good evening to you and everyone. I think this rant won't stop on the Congress party. This has been an old radio shop. It's been going on. I mean, I really don't understand these Congress leaders. Anyway, that apart, it's a laughable thing. I mean, these people do not even believe in anything. Let it be Supreme Court or a election commission or even for the matter, ED, CBI. These people do not even seem to believe in anything. But that apart, well, if you ask me from our perspective, from a BJP's perspective, I think we are very clear on our campaign strategy. We are focusing on development, we are focusing on performance, and we are also focusing on the social reengineering factors. Now, we have outreached at least not less than 50,000 booths in our Karnataka, keeping in view of the elections. And so, therefore, I think we have almost reached out to much of the electorate, and we have been talking about the developments which have taken place during the the two governments, that is the central government as well as the state governments. We have been, telling the people about the achievements which have happened during the our regime, especially from the state government perspective. And the rant by the Congress party of so many other things seems to have lost due course for them, because I think their Congress toolkit seems to have not worked properly. They're making allegations to cover up their own mistakes.
No.
I mean, look at the Congress party. Their leaders the leaders are in disarray. They do not know what to do. There is a lot of infighting between them. So therefore, they want to just showcase that everything is okay in their party and trying to pot shot at us. I think that's not going to work. The people of Karnataka have seen the development, have seen in practically what has been happening on the ground. I think going on the performance as well as our social reengineering, for example, we have been, we are instrumental in bringing the reservation. Yeah.
Madhu, so here's the point. You're talking about social reengineering. Let me ask you then, you're talking about the fact that the BJP is going to take its development model to the people, and you're wondering what else lies in the Congress's toolkit. What lies in the Congress's toolkit is massive corruption charges against the BJP. Now, I know that
Shreya,
Mr. D.K. Shivkumar
himself
has corruption charges against him. Lekin sun lo. Madhu, let me finish. Now I'll give you all the time in the world. Don't worry. As it is, Lavanya is not through with us. So aaj sirf BJP hai, and we'll get in Madhavan Narayanan as well. Okay, I believe Lavanya is patched back. Madhu, here's the point. You're asking what is in the BJP, in the Congress's toolkit. What is in the Congress's toolkit is all the allegations of corruption against your chief minister. He's called the 40% CM. One of your MLAs is behind bars. One of your MLAs is behind bars on corruption charges. His son was caught red-handed taking bribe. I mean, there is a lot that you need to explain to the people of Karnataka.
Just give me
only development cut it? I don't know.
I think you have to give me 45 seconds, not more than that at least. You know what? The aspect of corruption, let me come into that. I think please let the Congress party give an iota of evidence. Do they have they have not given iota of evidence. Would you believe Mr. Kempanna, who always argues that there is a 40% corruption, went to jail because he defamed one of our ministers, and when he was called, even after issuing NBW, he didn't even give any iota of evidence. And even when he was arrested, he told, I do not have any evidence. He was on record in July 2022 that he will be giving any evidence. And he was acting on behest of Mr. Siddaramaiah and the Congress party. That was very clear from the place where he gave the press conference. So what are we talking about? Are we talking about corruption? Has any citizen of the state complained about corruption? No, it's about always the Congress party. As a Congress party, as an opposition party, they have the right to do it. But then they have not believed in the existence of Lokayukta. We have brought back Lokayukta. I mean, I always listen to an argument saying that, oh, you are not instrumental in bringing. Let me remind the Congress party, para number 175 of the High Court indicted them, saying that they were instrumental in bringing the ACB, They were instrumental in bringing up corruption because of there is an ACB. We were the persons who went to Supreme Court. In the Supreme Court, we told let the Lokayukta
I do not know why the BJP.
Because
Madhu.
Even though it's
no, you have not allowed the Lokayukta to function. Madhu. Come on, yaar, Madhu. Listen, Janta sab janti hai. Please don't say that you have allowed the Lokayukta to function. You have not allowed the Lokayukta to function. You wanted the ACB to continue. You didn't want the You didn't want the Lokayukta. The Karnataka High Court forced you to reinstate powers to the Lokayukta. Who told you, Mane? Who told you kya?
Give me a minute.
There are court papers to prove it.
No, please listen to me. There were cases, there were pending cases. We did not want that to go for again to ACB. So therefore, we told existing cases, let be there. It was a sub judice matter before this High Court. Therefore, would you believe when the matter went to Supreme Court, please listen to me, Shreya, I think you need to listen to me. You need to listen to me, please.
When did the BJP come to power in Karnataka? Tell me. Madhu, you answer a simple question. I don't want to argue with you because I'm saying, please just tell me. Answer this simple question. When did the BJP government take charge in the state of Karnataka? And please tell me what your election promise was. Your election promise was to reinstate the Lokayukta. It took you 4 years to do it with great hesitation and with a massive dhakka from the Karnataka.
Can you allow me to
45 seconds. I have other speakers as well.
Please. You know what? Yes, I am understanding as to what you are going into. You have been explaining that there is in our manifesto that we had given. Yes, at that point of time, the case was pending before the High Court. In the High Court, we have told because there were existing cases which was in ACB. And please, mind you, the Congress party, when Siddaramaiah's Congress party was in power, 2016, I remember the day when they wanted to transfer all the cases to ACB. Why? You know why? The reason was because there were corruption charges against Siddaramaiah and they wanted to wash off those and they wanted to stop this. Thanks to High Court that they stopped everything of transferring from Lokayukta to
now Lavanya will come in.
Did we do it? Did we do it again? Virupakshappa?
Okay, Madhu.
Where were these people?
Well, if there were
what have you done against Virupakshappa? Have you even suspended him? Lavanya, go ahead.
Yeah, if there were corruption charges against Siddaramaiah ji, what stopped the BJP in the last 4 years from taking action against Siddaramaiah? And Madal Virupakshappa has been arrested not even hardly 2 days ago. And I'm sure he's not arrested for good behavior. He was arrested for corruption charges. When the BJP keeps talking about Congress should provide proof, what we are asking is for what has the government done to ensure, to show to the people that they're not corrupt. It is a BJP party worker who was a contractor who committed suicide, blaming Mr. Ishwarappa. And it was not just one guy who blamed him. Later also there was one more contractor who blamed the BJP leaders, saying, the corruption is something that we cannot work. The atmosphere is so toxic. So when we are talking about corruption charges, I think BJP has made it very clear to the people of Karnataka that they're most corrupt in Karnataka. And whenever they keep throwing corruption charges at Congress leaders, our question is simple. Why did you take legal action? Why did you not do anything for the last 4 years? And when they talk about how people are with them, we have seen yesterday the massive protests that happened outside the CM's residences by the people of Karnataka. The reservation issue. These are the same people who fought against the Mandal reservation.
Okay, Madhavan, Narayan, now we've heard the politicians and we've spoken about corruption, but there are other issues at play as well in the Karnataka election. So I want to ask you point blank whether it is quotas, corruption or communalism that will ultimately decide the fate of Karnataka, and do civic issues even play a role in assembly elections?
You asking me?
Yes, Mr. Narayan, you look quite fed up holding your head. No. What's up? I can hear you.
Who's the question addressed to?
It's addressed to you, Mr. Narayan.
Yeah, because I didn't
addressed to you, Mr. Narayan.
Maybe all the technicalities that the two parties were talking about put me to sleep instead of waking me up. I'm afraid they're not doing a service to your viewers in this, because I don't think they gained anything. And I must congratulate your bureau and reporter, because the brief report on Karnataka elections preceding this panel that we are having was excellent. Actually, I haven't heard anything like this in a long time. It puts out all the issues so succinctly that probably I am quite dispensable today. But having said that, let me bring out the fact that civic issues are so critical in Bangalore, but and even other parts of Karnataka. But I want to bring out an interesting fact that Bangalore is called the Garden City, but Karnataka is actually India's second most arid state after Rajasthan, because there's a huge disconnect between the southern and coastal parts of Karnataka and the arid parts of the other parts of the state, which is very important because civic issues do matter in parts, but caste quotas and especially the Vokaliga Ringayat rivalry for upward social mobility is a key factor. It's fashionable to sit in studios and exchange allegations on corruption, but in truth, the hard fact is that even Mr. Modi's big claims of development in Karnataka will not wash in Karnataka because this is not UP. Karnataka is already significantly developed in many ways, but there are so many disagreements and differences within Karnataka, between communities and between ecological systems, that we need to have a completely different way of understanding Karnataka politics. Having said that, let me say that it seems to me that there is sufficient evidence of corruption involving BJP leaders. I don't stick my neck out on this, but Karnataka is a unique case in which corruption seems to be there, and that might work against the BJP in the current round of elections, because Karnataka is an aware state, politically highly emancipated state in which conversations go on. Now, the BJP has built up this whole Tipu hijab narrative to even, this 4% shift of votes from minority Muslims to Lingayats is probably shifting from one mode of appeasement to another mode of appeasement. And therefore, there is not much of a tweedledee thing happening. It's pretty much the same. So my own assessment is that people will be voting on a composite scale of issues, including quotas, including development, including civic issues. And Karnataka, BJP's emphasis has always been what I call the big muscular development, talking about airports and expressways, whereas actually drainages matter, water supply matters, traffic jams matter, and pollution matters. These are not issues, from what I can see, BJP has addressed seriously enough. And but this is not to say Congress is washed in pure as driven snow. But what is probably going to happen is an anti-incumbency feeling that seems to have set in right now. And let me also point out that the last elections saw a fairly high percentage share for Karnataka, for Congress. And let me add that D.K. Shivakumar himself is a Vokaliga, and so is Mr. Kumaraswamy of the JDS. And if these things are to be taken as pointers, I see it as a very tough election in which BJP is going to be finding it very difficult to fight the elections. But as far as corruption and civic issues are concerned, no party has been sincere enough in addressing, the cash cow coast Bangalore, which is the pride of the nation. And this is very sad. This is a commentary I'm saying, but I only wish that whoever comes to power will do something more about this. And I think it's going to be the most interesting state elections in a while, because it probably means that the Modi magic
They're saying it's going to be a close one. Let's see. That's interesting. Let's see. It's being... and it's being said to be a close election, so let's see how it works out. Madhu, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much. Lavanya, good to have you on the show. And Mr. Narayan, awfully sorry to have put you off to sleep in the middle of the show. I hope our viewers weren't sleeping. That's all I hope and pray for. Thank you very much. Thanks very much. Shifting our focus